Welcome to my channel. This is Chef B, chefdirtart.com. Hello, welcome to my garden. Well, today I'm going to talk about plant diagnostics. Okay, I just got these clones in from another garden. They were just sitting around on a shelf and they weren't being looked after, so they are suffering from a nutrient deficiency. Now, the way you can tell is, the burning of the leaves. Now, that could indicate nutrient toxicity as well. So if the burning is surrounded by a yellowing, then that's usually a deficiency. I'll give you a closer look. As you can see here, there's burning at the tips and around the edges, but it's also accompanied with yellowing. Now, if it yellows around the outside, that means that it's a potassium deficiency. If it yellows from the inside of the leaf, that's an iron deficiency. These clones are starting to make a comeback. I've had them for a few days now. There you can see it there, browning accompanied with yellow. Okay, now, if you have a nutrient toxicity level, if you have too much nutrients in the soil, you'll get burning around the leaves. But what happens first, what to look for is the color of the foliage. If it's getting too dark, then you've got, an abundance of nutrients in your medium. And the first thing that happens is that, the leaf will start to curl under like this, claw under, and then the tip starts to burn. If you're showing those symptoms, then your levels of nutrients are too much. But what you got to do, whether you have a deficiency or a toxicity level, you've got to check first your pH. Because if your pH is out of whack, your plant's not going to be able to feed. You got to check to make sure it's not an infestation or an infection, a pathogenic infection, which could be bacterial, viral, or fungal. So once you eliminate that, usually those symptoms are either, white, mildewy mold, some kind of mold, or a black rim around the stem, or brown spots that's surrounded by a yellow halo. That usually indicates some kind of disease. And you should take those plants out of the grow room and put them into quarantine. Now, it's another thing to consider before you start treating is mineral levels, because if they're too high, it could cause lockout, and your plant won't be able to feed. If there's too many salts in your medium, that will cause the same problem. So when you do have a problem, the first thing you should do is just flush the pot out. Get it nice and clean. And then start them on a mild, all-purpose formula that has all your primary and secondary nutrients and your minerals. And get them, growing again. They're probably in shock. It'll probably take about a week before they come around again. But they should start responding. I'll take you downstairs to see my garden downstairs. I'll show you how well it's doing. But that's basically it. You really don't have to be an expert. You just got to practice preventative maintenance. Keep the garden clean, keep the air quality good, and if they do get an infection, it's probably from the environment, or maybe if you cut your plant, it gets an infection, or from, predators eating the plant. So yeah, just flush them and feed them with an all-purpose fertilizer, and they should come back nice and healthy, like these are. Okay, one of the things that I do to take care of mold issues, white mildewy mold or whatever, is I spray my plants with water and baking soda. Now I use about a heaping teaspoon of baking soda into a gallon of water, and I spray my plants, and what that does is make the plants alkaline, and mold can't grow in an alkaline environment, so it works very well. So what I do is just give them a good spray. I'll do it once a week. Keep them nice and alkaline, and this prevents mold from growing. It will eliminate mold if you get mold in the garden. It'll just melt it right off. I've even sprayed my plants in the budding cycle, and it doesn't affect the taste. I would avoid spraying the buds directly, but this really does work. You need a pH of about 9, if you want to check the pH after you put the baking soda in. It should be about 9 on your pH scale. And that takes care of it really nicely. Sometimes the sulfur burner just doesn't cut it, but this does. I just want to show you an example here of the leaves clawing over like this. As you can see, it's a very deep, rich green. At this point, I was feeding them 75% of what the manufacturer recommends. So I've cut back the formula to 70%, which seems to be more ideal for the conditions that I've created here. As you can see, these leaves are healthy. Check out how big this fan blade is, man. It's like bigger than my hand. So anyways, here's my room. It's normal to have some yellow happening, especially at the bottom of the plant there, or in the middle. Later on in the season too, in the budding cycle, about halfway through, your tips are going to start burning, but your leaves are yellowing. You're showing signs of a nutrient deficiency, which again is normal for that time of year. Naturally, the soil gets depleted, and if you're on the right feeding schedule, you will allow your plants to feed off of the sugars in the leaves. These girls are ready to trip. It's all about preventative maintenance. I spray these girls once a week, whether they need it or not, with Azamax and neem oil. It keeps them clean, healthy. It's totally non-toxic. I stop spraying when they're in the flowering cycle, and hopefully I'll make it to the end of the run without any serious problems. Okay, this is the my second crop of Kush, and I've got a couple of other strains in here, and I've got the green crack here. Well, I think that just about covers it. It's not exactly a course in pharmacopoeia, but this will help you out a little. I just want to answer a couple of questions. Some people think that I talk a little bit too slow, but if that happens, it's probably because you're not medicated enough. Also, I've had a lot of audio problems. It's a number of different things. I am soft-spoken. I don't speak very much. I'm fairly well isolated in my community here. I don't talk much, really. I don't exercise my voice, and I'm trying to do some vocal exercises. As you can see, I can't even talk for a minute without my voice cracking up. But I am trying to, overcome the problem. I don't use the self-checkout anymore. I'll go to a cashier and actually talk to a real live person. It's it's kind of dangerous though, talking to people that have moving body parts. But I can deal with the anxiety, and I've got enough medication, so I'll get through it. And hope everybody understands that this is not a professionally produced video. This is just a video blog. I'm just documenting my work here. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something, and even if you didn't, I hope you had a good time. So this is Chef B signing off, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope you check out my book, because it's a great book. It's written for the patient, and it's very informative. I'm getting 5-star reviews, so get over there and buy the book, give it a read, and let me know what you think of it. Okay, peace.